Are you listening? Damn.
Hey guys, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Josh.
And welcome to the Infinite Balance Podcast.
We'll navigate parenting, relationships, health, fitness, and so much more.
So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and let's hang out.
Hey guys, welcome back.
What up?
We have sort of a tentative studio for now. We have much bigger plans coming.
It's a progress though.
It is. It's definite progress. As you can tell, we have like a big...
If you're watching.
a good big setup. Yeah, if you can see this. But it's a work in progress, so we're still doing it. But I think that's what this week's episode is going to be about. Especially in regards to a lot of stuff that, you know, me and Courtney have been talking about lately, business-wise, life-wise, and things that we want to pursue. And, you know, it can be overwhelming at times. And I think, you know, Courtney said it best that, like, well, I don't think you actually said it. I think you implied it with, you know, picking this week's episode that, or this week's topic, that you really do have to accentuate the positive stuff.
Celebrate the wins.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish.
No, go ahead.
No, so just one of the things that in researching what's going to be the best like morning routine and PM routine for me, something I constantly see is that you need to celebrate your wins. I mean, I'm in an online community where every Friday we have Fridays, where we celebrate our wins.
What's the F stand for?
I'm not going to curse.
French fries.
Yes. Fudge, yeah, Fridays. And it's so important to celebrate your wins. And I think as humans, we're kind of trained to not want to like pat ourselves on the back and be like, hey, listen to this achievement I have, or like, hey, look at what I accomplished. Like, yes, we're kind of trained to like know if people recognize it, be humble and be like, oh no, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's really important when someone acknowledges your accomplishments to be like, yeah, I did that. Like, yeah.
It is. And it's hard to do, especially when we're kind of taught to, like you said, always strive for more and do better, be the best
humble.
you can, you know. And, you know, it's important to acknowledge what you have done for yourself, just like Courtney said.
And there's a way to be humble about it while still taking pride in it. And I think that's the line that people often don't know how to walk that line.
Yeah.
And a big reason that this was a topic that I really wanted to cover is for my personal reasons. I was just named to the AVCA 30 Under 30 award list, and
Took a little while, but I found it.
and so stop. And that was something that I've known about it, but haven't been able to really, I wasn't allowed to say anything until they released it. And I did struggle with being really super proud of that and wanting to shout it from the rooftop, but also not wanting to like throw it in people's faces and not seem braggy. And that it comes down to not really caring what other people think. Like, this is an amazing accomplishment and it's an amazing award list to be named to. And I'm extremely honored to be part of it and to be on it. And I kind of have to like, I'm going to celebrate that.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was just a really good topic that's been on my mind for the past, week and a half, 2 weeks. And now that I can talk about it, I was like, hey, why don't we talk about it?
Yeah.
How to celebrate yourself without worrying what other people are going to think about that.
Yeah. And I know I've had a problem with this recently because for me, especially with somebody who's, my mind is always going. My mind's always super accelerated and, kind of nonstop. And, it's hard for me to be able to slow down and appreciate the stuff that I have done. So one thing that I talked about on my podcast at some point during the week, it was an episode called calendar journaling. And it was about something that I'm trying to do to, figure out my schedule. Sorry, this desk is very short for me. So I feel so awkward.
It's perfect height for me. I feel like it's actually a little tall. I love it.
But so yeah, it's hard for me because I've never, followed a calendar. I've never followed a journal. I've never, given myself the time and respect to appreciate the stuff that I have done. I always try to do the most efficient things that I can and try to drive forward with putting my effort out there and putting my energy towards things that need it. And, it usually ends up in me becoming kind of a chameleon or a go with the flow type of thing. Like I usually get sideswiped by a lot of stuff and, life comes at you from every direction and then boom, you're off track, So I had started doing this calendar journaling, and it's a system that I had put in place where I promised myself, number one, that I would not be leaving any date on my calendar empty anymore. I picked a particular day and I wrote it in my calendar. That's the last day I will ever let that happen. And that's like putting in place like an accountable thing for me to look back and follow and be, no matter what, be like, no, something needs to go in this box. And the point of that is to get myself used to using a calendar, first of all, and to also think about what happened. Because even if I don't get the chance to write goals or aspirations for the day that I want to try to achieve, or if I don't achieve any of those goals that I put on the calendar, or one or two or whatever, it's my thought process to now look back on that day and write down what I did do. And that's going to do a couple of things. That's one, going to teach me what I had time for and what I didn't have time for, what was an out there goal for the way the day was. And I'll make little notes for myself. Oh, this didn't get done because of this, but I did do A, B, and C, and it's also in the long run going to help me establish a pattern for my schedule. It's going to help me, get my life together a little bit with the overnights and things like that, and really look and see, wow, I have a lot of time for editing podcasts on this day. I have a lot of time for, a lot of free time. So that's going to be one of my client days or, something like that. So it's just something that it's a multifaceted approach to get me into the mindset of appreciating what I do, as well as driving for goals, using a calendar, getting myself more organized in that way,
Josh has a tendency to not recognize how much he's gotten done. You'll have a lot of things in your mind that you want to accomplish, and you have a tendency, and we've talked about this before, to be like, oh my God, well, I didn't check off half my to-do list. And where I come in is I'm very good, I think, at telling you, okay, but what did you accomplish? You did do this. You did do this. Let's celebrate that you got this done. Like, this is hard to do when you've got the 3 kids and they're running around and it's raining and there's nowhere to go. Like,
yeah, definitely.
And I think by doing this calendar, that's going to be really good for you to learn how to do that yourself almost, because that's what I've had to do. And there are days I still struggle with it where I feel like, oh my gosh, I've gotten nothing done today.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, no, that's not true. Let's think about what I did get done.
Yeah.
And celebrating that, like, it's about you have to celebrate at the end of the day what you've been able to accomplish, because that's a win.
And you're going to drive yourself crazy if you don't. And I often do that. I do that a lot.
And even, I do want to throw out there, even if you have a day where you don't do anything, guess what? You needed that day. Celebrate that you took that rest day, and tomorrow you're going to get back to that to-do list.
Yep. And if you're a person like me, write down why you needed that day.
Yes.
And I'm only saying that not to make you feel better about yourself. In a way, sure. But it's not for that purpose. It's for the purpose of reminding yourself why you had to take that time. Because that serves the same purpose that I'm trying to do with this calendar journaling is, if I notice, every second or third Sunday, I need a day to myself, then that's by that time, what can I do to help prevent overwhelm? What can I do to help not burn myself out and not, kill myself to need that like I did, and then we work from there, it's a learning process.
But I think it's just like I said, time and time again in this episode, it's so so important to celebrate everything, because everything you accomplish each day or every rest day you take that's needed, because there's a difference between a needed rest day and like a bunch of rest days that maybe you need, but you could push yourself to get through them. But we've talked about that in the past. But it's so important to celebrate that stuff, because that's all part of progress, especially if you have a goal you're trying to obtain. If you're trying to run/start businesses, that's progress. You're taking, even if the only thing you did for your business was you posted on your social media, guess what? You did something.
Yeah.
Celebrate that.
Yeah.
If you've got kids and you are trying to just keep the house in order and you did the dishes, celebrate it.
Yep.
Because you did it. It's not just piling up. You did the dishes.
Yeah.
That's a win. And it's so important to, and anything that you are trying to do in life, recognize that those small victories are victories and they're progress towards the bigger goal.
Especially if you have, however many kids. One can be a challenge enough, but 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 10, whatever.
More than
hopefully
that.
not more, because if so, then
hey, people do it. Kudos to you.
That's just wow.
I think, I do want to know if we have anybody listening who has more than 10 kids. What is the system you have in place? How does that work?
And we need to hire you and put you on the show permanently.
Yeah, come give all of our listeners some helpful parenting tips.
Yep. But, regardless of your situation, it's important to remember these things, to celebrate these things and get that stuff together. That's the key.
Yeah. There's always something to celebrate, and don't overlook it because the world tells you it's not something to celebrate. It's not a victory. You haven't done enough. You need to be humble. All of the things that the world often tells us. Just put your blinders up, focus on it, celebrate it, and live your life.
Yeah, exactly. So you have your 30 under 30.
Yeah.
You have your rogue hairstyle coming in.
I cannot believe you brought that up. I found a white patch this morning in my hair. And anyway, and at first I thought it was a disease. I was like, oh my God, what? Because
guys,
it's not.
Stay away from Google when you're.
Well, I thought it was a disease first thing, because I was like, wait a minute, what? But yes, stay away from Google.
Google just popped up on my phone. Don't stay away from me. I'm listening to you.
So the reason I found it was I used my parents' bathroom to brush my hair. I don't know why. I just did. And I parted my hair down the middle, which I never do. And I'm brushing my hair and I was like, what is that?
Is that why millennials don't part down the middle? Do you all have the white patch?
I guess so. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Anyway, we will not be posting a picture of this, by the way. But you could just use your imagination. But
I'll get it when she's sleeping.
No. Usually when you start getting white and grays, it's a couple here and there. This is a 3-inch tall patch. just like in the center of the back of my head. And it freaked me out because it's very bright. It's very white. And like, I don't know.
Haven't I always told you to dye your hair silver? There you go.
I mean, that might be where I'm headed in life, except I don't need to dye it.
Win-win.
So that's how that came about. And you know what? I'm going to take my very good friend Nicole's advice, and I'm going to celebrate that as a win, because that means I can now just go full gray white hair and just live as a mountain woman.
Yep. And if I'm not alive by the time this episode airs, you guys know what happened.
If he wasn't alive for this episode to air, guess what? It wouldn't air.
I'll do it right after the show. So, yeah, besides that, where I was really going with it was that, I've decided to take a lot of things into my own hands and kind of stop drifting along with life, so to speak. I've talked about a medical issue that I have on my podcast, and it has to do with a habit. I have OCD, and I get these, I don't want to say like tics or whatever, but they're kind of like habits. So one habit is, I call it cracking my eardrums. I don't know exactly what it is, but
He cracks his eardrums.
well, it's apparently my eardrums are fine. The doctors are kind of confused on what it could be doing. But the ENT doctor that I spoke to said that it was something, one of my tubes. I was like releasing pressure in my tubes.
I forget the name of it now.
I forgot what it was. EU something. If you guys know, feel free to let us know. But the problem is that I started doing this so often because it felt good. Like my sinuses would drain, my ears didn't feel clogged. And I have like hypersensitivity in my ears. Like I can hear like a newborn baby. Like it's kind of ridiculous. When they do hearing tests, I can hear outside of the room, and I can hear even the most minimal of sounds and noises and things like that, like perfectly. It's a curse when I'm trying to sleep during the day, and not even like the negative 32 decibel head earplugs will block the sound,
Eustachian tube.
Yes, that. So they're saying that I do something with that when I stretch my jaw out and crack it, whatever. Long story short, this gave me vertigo. And I've gotten it to a point where, unconsciously, like it took so long to build this up. By the time I tried to stop doing it, it started happening by itself. Like I would yawn and stretch my jaw and my eardrums would crack, or with the whatever.
Eustachian tube, which I just learned a lot about real quick.
There you go. So, I finally had enough, and I was like, because it causes me headaches, it causes me confusion, foggy brain, and vertigo is obviously bad enough on its own. So there's a lot that goes along with it. So now I'm set up for a neurologist. I'm set up for, an allergist, seeing what like is causing my sinuses and my ears to get so bad in the first place. And I had a lot of ear infections and chest issues when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And they said that I had like mild asthma. Yeah. But stuff like that like never affected me in my teen years. So I just ignored it forever. But, I got tired of just dealing with it and living life like that and whatever. So I decided to take that stuff into my own hands finally and, just go get it addressed. I figured why not? And I'm doing the same thing with my business approach and certain things that, I might be missing and whatever. And I'm getting an outside opinion on that and just trying to get everything together. I feel like 2020 was a very stagnant year, even though there was a lot of growth. It was
a lot of growth in one spot.
Yeah. For lack of a better term, it's hard to really explain it, but I think that sums it up.
Yeah, like you're running in spot, but you're making small steps.
Yeah, you're running in place. You're getting healthier, burning calories, but you're not moving.
You're not. Yeah, you're you're making progress without going anywhere.
Yeah. So I'm doing this stuff just to get some traction, to get my health fully back in check. I hate going to the doctors. I've had a lot of really bad experiences, And it's just nothing against the doctors out there. Go and see your doctor.
Yes, please go see your doctor.
But, like I'm kind of like the naturopath when it comes to medications and all that kind of stuff. And I get illness out of my own body, but this is something that I cannot shake no matter what I've tried to do. I'm proud of myself for finally doing that and finally taking the stance to, like Courtney was my inspiration for this. She talks to Denise, her like a business coach. And, seeing how inspired Courtney has been by Denise, I was kind of like, you know what? Like, why don't I just give it a shot? Like, there's no harm in trying. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and I can try other things, And it's not that I'm not happy where things are going. It's just that I want to make sure I'm not missing my potential. I have an idea of where I want to be, and I want to do what I can the right way, especially when finances are tight and when time is extremely tight. I want to know that I'm doing the right things to get to where I need to go. So recruiting the help to look in is kind of an outreach for me, and I'm proud of myself for taking that step.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Because I know, like, celebrate that. That's something that in the past you're like, eh.
I love that journey for me. I just read it on her shirt, but it fits. So
Silver Lining Creations, shop small.
There you go.
Putting that plug in there.
Boom.
Bam. But yeah,
Pow.
even Shoza. I don't know.
I thought we were going into that Instagram video craze thing where the men are doing all the dishes or whatever, the chores. And it's like, yeah, girl, show them stuff. I don't know.
Ow.
It's,
Ow.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not just, okay. Anyway.
This is why you got to watch these episodes too. We're great.
And I lost what I was saying. What?
It's definitely a talk show. I don't know.
What?
But not a talk show. Like Price is Right. What's that? A game show. Come on down.
I actually just recently was watching, it's on Netflix, Supermarket Sweeps.
Nice.
I used to love that show. I always wanted to be on it. I think I'd be good.
Be aggressive.
Yeah.
You've shopped at the Plainview supermarkets. You'd be very aggressive.
You gotta be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's a victory.
You're used to it.
Knowing how to get grocery shopping done in and out. I impressed myself.
Yep.
We're so off. I knew it was
It's such a
coming,
low. I gotta work on that.
What are you looking forward to the most about working with Denise? Or like, what are you looking forward to? What are you excited for? What are you hoping for? Like, what's like the biggest, like, I can't wait.
To have my business be fully self-sustaining in 6 months.
Yeah.
That's, my key. Because right now, mentality-wise, I feel like almost in a blocked mode or like kind of like writer's block almost. Like, and I, not with writing or with podcasting, like things are, are great with that. But I mean, just in general with, am I missing anything? Do I need any, other areas to pursue, or should I be doing something else? It's always good to get an outside point of view on that kind of stuff where, if she's been through the mill and she knows, she's seen people go through these lulls, I'm excited to get going. Yeah. I'm excited to get going on a good, solid path. And, because I'm a classic overthinker, I will have my direction. And then once that, nobody even has to challenge it. It might just be a thought of like, but am I sure I don't want to do anything else? Am I sure I don't want to try something else? And then like that just blossoms into 100 other ideas, It's a sickness. It's like the Joe Rogan sickness.
No, I'm like that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm excited for.
Good.
I'm doing it myself because the sound effects is very low.
Just so you know, I have that ow
Good.
stuck in my head.
Good.
That's why I'm dancing.
And this is why you need to be watching our episodes on YouTube, because she's dancing in her chair with her shoulders.
Nothing else.
But she's getting it. Get it, girl. Maybe I'll just put that on the soundboard.
Can you just ask your question now? Why am I sitting like that?
You're having fun, whatever you're doing. What's the proudest accomplishment that you've had for today?
I closed the computer. I had a day off from my full-time job. And I was like, all right, good. I'm going to work on some business stuff. And the day didn't exactly go how I envisioned it in my head. And instead of sitting outside while the kids played and like working away on my computer, I just closed it twice. I did it in the morning and the afternoon, and I jumped into playing at the playground with them. And I'm not a playground mom. It gives me a very high anxiety, but now that we have one in our yard, it's
a lot more funner.
it's so weird. It's just I just have more trust and more faith.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like I can step away and kind of sit outside and work on my computer and know that they're okay. But it was also just really nice to be present with the kids and involved and enjoying. And like, I don't feel like I play with them enough. That's like, dad is the play guy, where mom's like, I'll take all the cuddles. And so I think it was just a nice change of pace, and that's a big win for me today.
Your mom went down the slide.
Twice, three times.
Yeah.
She went down the tube slide twice, and then the regular slide once.
Yep.
And then Michael almost killed her the second time she went down the tube slide because he was right behind her.
Yep. Play with fire, you're gonna get burned.
Especially with Michael around.
Yeah.
But no, that was my big like mom win, was being active with them and not doing the work I wanted to do. I did it tonight after they went to bed,
mm-hmm.
which is perfectly fine time to do it. So it was like a win-win. I got time with the kids. I was unplugged, but I also got the work done I wanted to get done.
I feel like a lot of the time I tend to do more of the opposite in some ways. Like I tend to give them a lot of time
Mm-hmm.
and take it away from myself or the both of us. So like that's also a challenge with the schedule that I'm interested in. You know, going back to my question, interested in seeing how efficient I can become.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like you said it a while ago, and that for whatever reason it rings in my head like a hard bell every so often. You said, what exactly was the quote? It was something like, you said, I love how you always make things flow better, or something like that. Remember when I was building the desk when we had the small apartment, and I was building a desk like next to our bed? You were pregnant with Philip, and like I was just trying to maneuver things so that everything would like fit and work out the right way,
Mm-hmm.
and we could make the most use out of the space that we have. And you said that, and it just rang ever since then. Like, that's my obsession, is to make things flow and if I see like an imbalance somewhere, it becomes my obsession to like fix it.
Yeah, you're always perfecting the flow.
Yeah. Which is kind of a sickness when you think about it.
But it's also very good, because like I always feel very relaxed.
Yeah.
Because you always just know how to set things up the right way.
I feel like I get kind of like a funny reaction from people, because like they'll be like, you know what, I just realized this doesn't really work out. And I'll be like, well, yeah, but here's 5 ways you can fix it. And then they just give me a look like, how long have you been thinking about this? You know? And like, I just don't, 'cause I'm
Maybe
used
that's
to
your
it,
calling,
you know?
is interior, a very specific interior design.
But it's with life too. Like, I could be like, well, you're definitely doing this wrong, and it would save you a whole lot of, you know, I just can't do it to myself. Like, I wish I had that mirror vision, you know? But I don't know if that's really possible for anybody, you know? I think we all look at ourselves with such like a hard point of view that like that's the purpose behind me talking to Denise, is just to get an outside perspective, you know? And yeah, so
yeah, so my win of the day.
that was Courtney's question.
There you go, that was better.
Yeah, but it sounded, because I recorded it so low, it sounded so washed out.
So then what was your biggest win of the day? Because I know today did not go the way you envisioned it. So let's spin it, look at the positive. What was your biggest win of the day?
I've been in this process of getting my new mentality tested, you know, and I've known that, and I've kind of just been like, you know, like, it's coming. It's the waves are going to keep crashing, you know? And it was literally that type of day. Well, week. I got to say week. Because honestly, like at work and things like that, like
Work
everything.
was super busy for you.
Work was insane. And everything was just, you know, off the rails. And even when I came home during the mornings, I'd like get woken up a bunch of times, whether or not it was noise or if it was just me, you know, like you know, that's just how it is. But it's all in a positive aspect because, and that's my win, to cut right to the answer. That's my win, is that I'm able to see that as a positive. And the reason why it's a positive is it's because it's challenging my mentality. My mentality is 100 times better than it was even this point last year. You know, this point last year, I was still playing games, drinking all night and just hanging out and whatever. And like, whatever, it's lockdown. Forget it. You know, it's fine. And just going with the flow and not really trying to do anything. But, you know, getting that motivation and getting that the growth that I've seen, and being able to just advance that and use that, you know, that's my accomplishment for today. Like, I did get frustrated and I did have a moment of like ventilation, but I didn't let it stop me. Like, I still, instead of like, I either changed direction or I just kept on driving with stuff that I felt like I needed to get done. So, you know, I was able to, for once, sort that out and just think things through and kind of like vent when I needed to and bring it back around when I needed to, you know?
Yeah.
So that was the win. And I got to enjoy time with the kids. I got to, you know, get some stuff done that I wanted to get done and, you know, keep going. So that's what it was.
I like it.
I like it. Oh, I tried to get it. It's so delayed. So, final question. I feel like this makes my voice sound. Final question. I should be a voice actor. See? Stop it. Stop.
What's the question?
So,
Don't mess with Maui when he's on a take. I'm sorry.
On a breakaway.
I know. I stopped myself.
How dare you?
I know the words. I've been singing them for the past week.
Hero of Man. Start from the top. Go.
From the very beginning. I don't know the whole song. I know that little like rap section where, what's the lesson? What is the takeaway? Don't mess with Maui when he's on a breakaway. And the tapestry here on my skin is a map of the victories I win. And that's the last part's when I look at the little Maui. I don't know.
Tickety tapping. I don't know. Every time I hear that line, I see The Rock doing it. Anyway, how much does it grind your gears about this wooden castle thing that we were putting together in Michael's room?
Not that much. Because I know we'll get it together. I have faith that customer service will help me. There's a little bit of doubt that customer service won't be able to help me, but I have
I was
faith.
gonna say that if there's ever a definition picture of like cheese eating grin, that was it. Because
No, I'm not that like, if we have to makeshift something to work with it, we're going to do it. Like, we're going to make it work. We've done it before. There's a solution, and it's just taking a little bit longer than we thought, but I'm okay.
if I catch her cursing about it, I'm gonna record it and post it.
I really feel it's bothering you like 1,000 times more than it's bothering me.
Yeah. But that's all a part of being tested. Yep.
Yup.
So this episode got way away from us and then back on track. And then, it's like Michael driving a car. It's off the road, then back on, then through the tunnels. And then you meet up with a train somehow and whatever. So, but the point is clear.
Celebrate them.
Celebrate the victories, no matter how small. Just celebrate them. You gotta give yourself that time. You gotta, remember those things.
Go to bed every night proud of yourself.
Yes.
Celebrating you.
Yes. If you guys have any questions for us, if you have any answers, I forgot what the castle thing was called, but hey, if you're a customer service agent for this company.
It's by KidCraft, and I don't think they make it anymore.
Probably not.
We got it, just short little thing. We got it from one of my dad's friends from work, who he got it when their company wasn't using it as a display anymore. So
who knows?
Who knows?
I don't even know if it's legit.
When we
knows?
first got it a couple of years ago, I found the directions online, and now I can't.
So we're there. We're at
So
that
if
point.
you work for KidCraft, I sent an email. Please respond.
Yes.
Like now.
Yes. But it's not bothering her. So if you guys need help with any of this,
it's going to work out.
Get in touch with either one of us. Even if you want information for Denise, or if you want any sort of, information on what we can offer for you. Courtney's been taking this VA stuff head on, and she's been really advancing her Instagram, and you've been working with a lot more people. Mm-hmm. So hit her up if you guys need anything, graphics, design, Canva stuff. She's the Canva queen. If you need anything, any advice or anything,
if you need Josh to tell you 5 ways frontwards, backwards to fix your house, your life, whatever, while he's getting his situation situated, hit him up.
Always use wood glue, first of all.
But Josh is very, very good at advice. Health and fitness, nutrition, life. Josh is really good at advice. So.
And I speak in metaphors, so I can make you think a little bit too.
It's so annoying. No, it's actually really helpful. Just it's not always when you want it.
Yeah.
But if you're reaching out to him, that means you want it. So
there you go.
Reach on out.
Synchronicity. See, that was kind of a metaphor. It was alluding to a metaphor.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
By the way, we're both exhausted, so thank you.
Yeah, we're a little loopy.
Yeah. Yep. So hopefully you guys had a great weekend, whether or not you celebrate Easter. Happy whatever. Happy Sunday. Doesn't matter. Hope every day is good for you, and we'll be back next week.
On Monday.
Same time. Same channel. Now I feel like it's the... Although that was very loud, so I apologize, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.